What is up, everybody? Welcome to the MMA Engine. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 57. We have Arman Tsarukyan going against Mateusz Gamrot. We have a 12-fight card here, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Lots of great fights. We have Josh Perisian, Baudot, looking forward to, as always. Before we get started, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to the MMA Engine. As always, it is very, very appreciated here. And yeah, lots of bets to talk about. Not really like any big bets, a bunch of kind of small sprinkles here for me. I think I have like 9 bets, a lot of plus money. I think 6 or 7 of 9 are plus money there. So yeah, not the easiest card in the world from a betting perspective, I'd say, but yeah, I do like the spots I have. It should be a good one for sure. Let us shout out the chat and then we'll get right into it here. I know a lot of things are going on outside of the UFC. I know we have Bellator going on. We have PFL going on, like a lot of other stuff going on. So a bunch of stuff going on right now. So I'm not sure who's going to show up, but do appreciate that everybody that does show up live and watch on the replay. Tony, what is up? Saying, what's up, Brady? Let's make some money this weekend. Any insight on what happened to Timur Valiev? No, but there were some like really weird like cuts as of late, like some really good guys, like off the top of my head. Timur Valiev was one that was really weird. I thought that De Silva, Alex Silva was a weird cut. I mean, there's been some really weird releases this last couple of weeks. So I'm not sure what happened with Valiev. Maybe we'll get some more information on that. Or maybe they just made a mistake and cut him because, yeah, cutting Valiev is not that's bad. I mean, unless like something's going on behind the scenes, but yeah, that's not great. What is up? Jan saying, let's go Brady. Great card, by the way. Yeah, I think this card's really good. It's going to be tough to top UFC Austin, but I think the card's great outside of a couple fights. We got Prince of Mischief saying, what is up? What is up? How you doing? Quaver saying, yo, what is up, Quaver? Chris in the chat. Oi, respect the grind as always. Appreciate you, Chris, hanging out with me on a Friday. We got Brandon in the chat as well saying, let's go. I agree. Victor in the chat. What's up, gentlemen? Let's make the Mula. I agree with you there. We got Rob in the chat as well. Yes, sir. Let's get it, Brady. Even though this card will be nothing like last, I mean, it's going to be tough to top last week's card for sure. I don't think that card's going to be topped in a while, but should be a very good one. Mahler saying, I just discovered the McDonald's app and it's a game changer. Is it? I would not know. And Jeremiah saying, how are we doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? I wonder which matchup is going to bang more, Parisians or Ulberg. I don't know. Probably the Ulberg fight, I guess. But yeah, both fights aren't the best on paper. But I don't know. Maybe they could deliver. I think the UFC will be handing out releases after this card. Yeah, I feel like they definitely probably should on a couple of these fights. I mean, the Parisian Baudot fight, even like, I don't know, that fight. I mean, that's Carlos Ulberg. If he loses this fight, I think that's about it. But we have a lot of great fighters on this card outside of like the heavyweight fight there. I'm excited for this card. Let's stack these tickets. I agree. Let us get into it, guys. We will start with the first fight of the night. Going to be talking some betting, some DraftKings, some weigh-ins. We have Jinh, Vanessa Demopoulos. Demopoulos was the last to weigh in. I think she weighed in with like a little over 10 minutes left. And yeah, she looked fine. This is a fight where I feel like there's pretty much 2 ways to bet it. If you like Jinh, and I do like Jinh, instead of laying minus 220, because you probably shouldn't lay minus 220 on Jinh ever, I think if you do like her, you play her by decision. Her decision prop minus 115, that's on Bet Online. I saw FanDuel Sportsbook has plus 110. I think that is the way to go. If you like Demopoulos, I think the submission prop plus 550 or the scorecards equals no action is the way to go. I actually did take a half unit shot on that scorecards equals no action, that finish only on Demopoulos. Me and Weezy were talking about it on Sunday on Stat Diggers. The lines were not even out yet, and me and Weezer were really eyeing to see where that finish only prop would open up for Demopoulos, because Jinh, she has the worst finish rate on the entire card, 27%. She's not going to submit Demopoulos, and her last knockout win, her only knockout win, was back in 2013, almost 10 years ago. So Demopoulos, she has like a much, much better finish rate. I think if she does win, it is probably a finish, a 71% finish rate for Demopoulos there. I will say I did have a nightmare last night, and this is how you know you're a true degenerate. I had a nightmare that Jinh just ran through Demopoulos in the first round. I know it's such a weird thing to have a dream about, but hopefully that doesn't come true. But yeah, just had a nightmare, woken up sweating like, oh no. And I also, and in that dream, I had 4 units on the Demopoulos finish only, which in real life, I do not have that. I only have a half unit on it, but I don't know. That was weird. I was like, I don't typically dream about fights, but I guess I dreamt about that one. So that was weird. But yeah, I have Demopoulos, half unit, finish only, plus 190. On FanDuel, it's still plus 165. On DraftKings, it's like plus 155. If there's a finish in this fight, you got to believe it's going to be a Nemopoulos sub. And then again, if you like Jinh Fry by decision, plus 110 on DraftKings. Fry is the easiest fade of the year for me, up there with, I think Katlyn Chookagian was like 8,700, 8,800 against like Jennifer Maia. This is an easy fade for me against Vanessa Demopoulos. Jinh Fry, no volume, not a ton of finish upside. She's not going to go for takedowns. If she does, she probably gets subbed. Just an easy fade there. But Demopoulos, don't hate her as a punt. If she does win again, it is probably a submission armbar from guard type situation. What's up, Sean? How you doing? You took the Vanessa sub at plus 800. Yeah, I don't think that's still there. I think it's like plus 600. But yeah, I mean, if she wins, that's that's how it is. It's by sub. Vanessa by stripper pole leg lock. Hey, if this fight hits the match, she's going to be very live. Rob saying no. Victor saying I have the finish only prop for Demopoulos, and I have the Fry decision as part as the Just a Tip parlay. Uncle Weezy did put out a parlay on his channel, the greasy four-legger, and yeah, I think Fry decision is on that. That dream is telling us something. I hope not. I mean, it was terrifying. I mean, in that dream, I had 4 units on Vanessa Demopoulos, finish only, and then Fry just starches her. And I was at the event as well in the dream, which was even worse. So, yeah, hopefully that dream is not telling us anything. Awesome, scary dream. Not really. Sean saying, what's this MMA engine? You must be new here, Sean. I kept looking for this on Pub Sports Radio and DFS by the numbers, then found it somehow here. Yeah, I've been saying for the last couple months, really. I mean, this show is now on the MMA engine. The MMA engine, the website for it is going to come out very soon. We can get a lot into it more in the near future. But, you know, it's basically like, how to explain it? Like, there's going to be a fight studio where content creators can come on and they can use that fight studio for their videos. Like, for example, I use Tapology for my videos. The fight studio is basically like a Tapology, but much, much better. It's going to have the stats. It's going to have all the analytics as well. Just a lot of things with the MMA engine. And yeah, it's a channel as well. I mean, we're here over, just hit the 1,000 sub mark. We got me, Lou, Monk, and Weezy on it, putting out a ton of content. So yeah, this is the MMA engine, Sean. It's been up for about 3 or 4 months now. You're good. Welcome to the MMA engine, and make sure you do subscribe, Sean. Glad you were able to find us there. All right, next fight, Mario Bautista going against Brian Kelleher. Yeah, nothing here from a betting perspective. I think this is a solid spot for Mario Bautista, but it's hard to count out a guy like Brian Kelleher. Brian Kelleher is an absolute dog. Bautista much bigger though, younger, the better striker. Kelleher, I guess his path to victory would be wrestling here. I guess I did look at that fight doesn't go. It really stuck out. I mean, Kelleher finished in 8 out of 13 losses. Bautista finished in both his losses. I guess the one problem I had though was when Kelleher does lose inside the distance, it's by submission, 7 submission losses, which could Bautista submit him? Maybe. Bautista does have a 33% submission rate, 33% knockout rate, so he has just the amount of same knockouts as submissions. Bautista by submission is only plus 525. I'd like a little bit better of a line on that, but yeah, nothing's really sticking out here. I guess Bautista sub long shot would be something to sprinkle maybe, but even then, like, they're not giving you great odds on that, at least not on Bet Online. I'll have to check the other books, but yeah, Kelleher has been subbed a ton, but again, kind of a long shot. I'm kind of leaning Bautista by decision. From a DraftKings perspective, I don't know if I can get to Bautista here. If anything, it's going to be Kelleher, especially if Kelleher is able to wrestle. But again, it's not a ton of interest in this fight. Really, from a betting perspective, from a DraftKings perspective, a fight that should be fun, but I'm going to sit back and watch this one. Yeah, Bautista looked much bigger as well. Kelleher small for the division. So yeah, I thought Bautista looked much better. Let's hit that like button. I agree. Rob Sandy, Mari, I think gets it done. Fry looked like the winner in the face-offs today. Yeah, I mean, Vanessa had a little bit of a scare there, came in late. Maybe she had a bad weight cut. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I watch Vanessa Demopoulos' past fights, and she basically gets beat up until she doesn't. Yeah, absolutely. 0 head movement, but she's got some decent grappling, good level of competition, and Fry is ancient and sus grappling. Yeah, I thought you broke it down perfectly. Vanessa Demopoulos, what is she good at? Grappling, and that's really about it, and being tough. She's very tough as well. So yeah, if this fight does hit the mat one way or another, she's going to be very live. But yeah, Fry should probably get this done, but I'm not trusting Fry with my money. We'll move on to the next fight. We have JP Buys going against Cody Durden. This was one that I made sure to research very early on, and shout out to Brandon in the chat, in the Discord, hit me up. I believe it was this fight. And he was like, hey, I really like the JP Buys Cody Durden under 2.5 rounds. I said, okay, that'll be the first fight I look into. And I look into the fight. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love violence in this spot. The numbers line up. You have JP Buys, a 100% finish rate. He's been finished in 3 of his 4 losses. And then you take a look at Cody Durden. He has an 84% finish rate, and he's been finished in 3 of his 4 losses. So both guys are finishers. Both guys can absolutely be finished. JP Buys, a killer be killed fighter. His last fight against Montel Jackson was his very first decision ever, win or loss. And that fight probably could have been stopped. And if Montel Jackson had any fight IQ whatsoever, he could have easily finished JP Buys. Whenever he would knock down JP Buys, he would fall him to the mat, and they'd stay there for 3 minutes doing nothing. I feel like JP Buys is very live for an early finish. If this fight doesn't get extended, that's where I kind of start to favor Durden. I've seen Durden have a little bit more success as the fight goes on, whereas JP Buys, the dude just falls off a cliff after the first round. So I think both guys are live for a knockout. I think both guys are live for a submission. I think both guys are live to get knocked out, and I think both guys are live to get submitted. So I went through the tape, I looked at the numbers, and then I looked at the line, and the fight doesn't go as plus 120. I was like, what is going on here? So I put a half unit on it, and then sat on it for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm adding on. So added on another half unit, so I'm a unit deep, and the fight doesn't go at plus 120. And then I actually went to add on another half unit, but the line moved on DraftKings. But yeah, I still like where it's at now. I think this line's like underpriced, only minus 110 for the fight doesn't go. I know it's a 125-pound fight, but we have 2 guys that are killer be killed. Typically, I like targeting the fights with these killer be killed fighters, and we have 2 of them here. So I think the fight doesn't go as the best look rather than being confident one side or another. If you're confident in a side in this fight, I don't know what to tell you. How can you be confident in JP Buys? How can you be confident in Cody Durden? You just can't be. So yeah, fight doesn't go. I think both guys are alive to finish and both alive to get finished as well. Let's see here. I really like Buys by sub. Yeah, Buys by sub is plus 300. I think first round sub is live as well. Buys had Jackson, and Buys he's good. He's decent. He's a good wrestler, good grappler, very good grappler. He's gonna have the grappling advantage. I think if he does win, it's first round sub. Durden was lighting flick up till he got hit with the flying triangle or whatever it was. I think he could finish Buys later in the fight. That's kind of where I'm leaning as well, but it's just hard to be confident in either guy. Good looking out, Brady. I got the under 2.5 at plus 150. Yeah, there you go. Just love what I saw on the tape with that line. Plus the Jackson fight should have been called. JP got knocked down like he did. I think officially they said it was 4. I swear it was 5 times. So yeah. I have Buys Durden fight in 3 parlays. 1 fight doesn't go in 2 of them, and the under 2.5 in 1. Hopefully it ends under 1.5. Yeah, I think it could. I think it could really end in any round. More so leaning the first round as well, but we'll see what happens. Durden slows down too much. Buys has shown he can push a pace. I've not seen any tape on Buys pushing any type of pace for 3 rounds. Whenever he does get out of that first round, he typically does look pretty awful. I mean, there's a win he has that was in the second round, but he won that fight by DQ. He was on his way to getting TKO'd. He looked gassed. He looked horrible. And the Silva fight looked really bad as well. I have not seen this 3-round cardio from Buys personally. He's never won a decision. So amateur? Are you talking amateur? I don't know. But I have not seen it personally, Sean. I can't believe the fight doesn't go as plus money. Yeah, it's not plus money anymore. But yeah, if you got in earlier in the week, yeah, it was plus money then. It was plus money for a while. Big bet for me, plus live bet Durden if Buys will be better in the first round. Yeah, I'm not going to be touching the live betting, but I'm just hoping for some violence, rooting for some violence here. I don't think either of these guys are that great. I hope somebody does go out. All right, guys, we'll keep moving on. We have Sergey Morozov going against Raulin and Paiva. Yeah, this is a tricky one. This is one of those fights where I feel like it's almost too easy. Like Morozov should win this fight. I feel like he has a big advantage in terms of the wrestling. I feel like he can get takedowns here. It's hard for me to trust Sergey Morozov. It's hard to trust him at chalk as well. The guy is super chinny. He's getting hurt in a ton of fights. He's getting clubbed and subbed. His submission defense is suspect. The cardio is suspect at times. Like, he's a guy that has a ton of skill. I like his game. It's just the dude's getting hurt so much. He's reckless at times. And again, he's reckless on the mat, getting submitted 3 times. He's been finished 4 of his 5 losses. But I feel like this is such a winnable fight for him against Paiva. I've never been sold on Paiva. The guy, he's young. He has a ton of experience, so maybe he can improve. And I had a big bet on Kyler Phillips when they fought. And I thought, first of all, Phillips probably should have finished him in that first round, but at the very least, it was a 10-8. I didn't think Paiva won that fight. But I don't know. I just feel I'm kind of sketched out on this fight. I feel like Morozov could be looking like a huge favorite up until something lands, or Paiva is a black belt in BJJ. Maybe Paiva gets something off his back. I don't think it's all that likely, but yeah, I'll take Morozov. I just don't have much confidence, enough confidence to bet on it, and especially now where the line's at. He's now minus 145. He was minus 130, and even then I'm like, I can't trust this guy. So can't trust him. I'm going to pass. The pick's Morozov. I like Morozov on DraftKings, though. Takedown upside, sneaky finish upside. And I was also looking at the fight doesn't go. The fight doesn't go plus 120. Both guys have been finished a ton. Morozov, 4 of his 5 losses. Paiva, 3 of his 4 losses. It's still there at plus 120. That was something I was kind of tempted on, but I just don't want anything to do with this fight, honestly. So I'm going to pass here. The pick's Morozov, and just not a ton enough confidence to bet on it. DraftKings are a bunch of savages with that keep my wife's name out your mouth. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Absolutely cannot believe that. But that was funny. Morozov should win. Paiva's not a finisher. Yeah, not really. I mean, he has his last finish comes against Mark De La Rosa in the UFC. Not really a finisher, but I don't know. What's up? 302 Fight Life, my guy, 100%. What up with you, homie? I'm on the Degenerate-ish tomorrow night. There you go. Parlay party, LOL. Let's get it. And as always, appreciate you and your content, my G. 100% appreciate you hanging out with me on a Friday. 302 Fight Life. There you go. Paiva can't finish a lunch like Jocko. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't want to completely crap on the guy because that's all I've been doing, and it's been biting me. But yeah, I think Morozov should win the fight. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have TJ Brown going against Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, and yeah, this is another violence prop that jumped out to me on Sunday. So, yeah, both guys are really good finishers. Brown, 81% finish rate. Shayilan, a 76% finish rate. But not only that, Brown's been finished a ton. 6 of his 8 losses come inside the distance. He's been knocked out 3 times. He's been submitted 3 times. And on top of that, Shayilan, he's been finished in 8 of his 10 losses, 6 coming by submission, 2 by knockout. And you take a look at the fight doesn't go decision prop. It's plus 150, and it's actually like plus 155 on 5 dimes, which is the same price as the Jinh Fry Vanessa Demopoulos fight doesn't go. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I think Brown subs this guy. I think Brown can knock this guy out. Brown's going to have a big striking advantage. He's going to throw hard. He's going to hurt this guy. But this fight's going to end up on the mat one way or another, whether it's TJ Brown taking down Shayilan or whether it's Shayilan taking down TJ Brown. This fight's going to hit the mat. And at that point, I think Brown is live for a submission off his back. I think Brown, if Brown gets on top, he's going to sub this guy fairly easy. So, yeah, Brown inside the distance, plus 250 out there. I like that. I like the fight doesn't go because Brown, he's super untrustworthy. The guy has shown horrendous cardio. He's made horrendous mistakes. He's been finished a ton. Cardio, fight IQ. He's been finished. I mean, I can't trust Brown at this price tag, but I think if there is a finish, it is more so from the Brown side. But I don't want to completely rule out a Shayilan late finish. If Brown just completely gassed out, like we've seen him gas out and get submitted before. I mean, he got submitted. I think it was Jordan Griffin. I think it was a guillotine choke, and I think he was in side control, which you do not see that at the UFC level. So I don't want to completely rule out a Shayilan sub. If Brown's gassed out, I mean, we've seen Rodolfo Vieira get submitted before. So if you're gassed out, you don't have anything left in the tank. Like Shayilan very well could finish Brown late in the fight. And this is going to be a fast-paced fight with a bunch of grappling. So I don't want to completely roll out a Shayilan finish here. But I think Brown by sub on FanDuel plus 420. In the 2 bets I do have, I have a half a unit on the fight doesn't go at plus 150, and then I have a half unit on Brown inside the distance at plus 250. So hoping for that Brown finish, that Brown sub. Hopefully he gives Shayilan his 7th submission loss, which is just nuts. From a DraftKings perspective, I think TJ Brown is a great play. I think it's a great leverage play. I don't see many people having him. Takedown upside, finish upside. And as far as Shayilan, if he wins, he probably does score well also, and nobody's probably going to take him. So I don't mind some pokes on Shayilan. Obviously wrestling upside. But I think TJ Brown should get this fight and should win this fight. But I think we say that a lot about TJ Brown. Like, he should go out there and win the fight, but it's just hard to trust the guy. But I think he gets it done. Yes, TJ Brown, I have him inside the distance of plus 240. Honestly, might sprinkle the KO prop. Yeah, I think the KO's live. I'm more so leaning sub myself. The KO is like plus 650, something like that. I have Brown by sub plus 475. Good. Yeah, great line. I mean, that's the best line out there. The best line I saw was like plus 420. So yeah, heck of a line there. Paiva, the parlay problem this week, he's going to make a lot of folks upset with his inconsistent self. Yeah, I mean, I'm not touching that fight. I'm kind of sketched out on it. But yeah, I think Morozov should win it. See if I missed anything there. But yeah, give me some TJ Brown, and also TJ Brown is Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week. So just another reason to like TJ Brown in this spot. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Tafon Nchukwi going against Carlos Ulberg. And this is the fight where, I mean, these spots typically bite me in the ass more often than not. It's a spot where, I mean, you do the tape, you do the research, and you think, hey, this is going to be this guy's game plan. You know, Tafon should go out there and push Ulberg against the cage, put a pace on him, take him down. We've never seen Ulberg off his back. Like, what does he look like? We've seen Tafon go for takedowns and get them. Like, why shouldn't Tafon go in there, have a grinding game plan, and get this fight down to the mat? A lot of times you see, like, fighters don't always come out to the game plan you expect. So if Tafon Nchukwi goes out there and wants to have a 15-minute kickboxing fight with Carlos Ulberg, who has a kickboxing background, he probably loses that fight. But if he comes in here and makes this an MMA fight, I feel like he has potential to look like a huge favorite. But the problem is, you know, will he go out there and do that? It's, you know, we're not going to be in his corner. We all know that Tafon should go in there and do that. But it's just weird. Like, a lot of times, like, these fighters just don't go in there with a great game plan. Like Corey McKenna. Like, Corey McKenna, what are you doing? Why would you not try to take down Elise Reed as soon as the fight starts? She has no takedown defense. She's a white belt. You're a much better grappler. Why wait till 10 seconds left? Like, I don't know. Like, you can't trust fighters sometimes. So I think Tafon has all the tools here. It's just will he use them? That's up to him. But I put a half unit on Tafon, plus 100. The line has moved quite a bit. And if you can still get Tafon at a pick 'em, minus 110, minus 115, I don't hate that if you have a strong read on it. Minus 125, that's pushing it a little bit because, again, I just don't know if I can trust Tafon to do that. I mean, I expect him to go out there for takedowns. And if he does do that, I expect him to look like a decent-sized favorite. I like the volume, the cardio, the wrestling, the strength of Tafon. So, yeah, I think he has all the tools to win this fight. So, yeah, half unit, Tafon, plus money. We'll see what happens. Just hopefully there's no like Corey McKenna situation or nothing like that. Like, sometimes I'm just like questioning, like, what are these guys doing in there? But hopefully Tafon fights smart, and I think he will. Ulberger's massive at faceoffs. Yeah, he's 6'4", and Tafon is only 6 foot. But yeah, as we know, Tafon is a much thicker fighter. Corey McKenna still gives me nightmares. Yeah, I mean, a couple things still give me nightmares. The Rodolfo Vieira, Fluffy Hernandez fight, that gives me nightmares. The Leonardo Santos, Clay Guida fight, like, Keith Peterson, what are you doing? Stop the fight. Stop the fight, Keith Peterson. That was bad. Like, that was like a 5-unit swing for me. I had Santos straight, and then I had Santos to win in either round 1 or round 2. He should have knocked out Clay. I mean, there's just so many, nightmare. Like, there's so many things that still give me nightmares for sure. Big favor here. Cannot rely on Nchukwi's fight. That's why I only went a half unit. I only went a half unit on that. Because if I knew for a fact, like, yeah, he's going to go out there and wrestle, yeah, I'd put a full unit on it. But I'm like, I don't know. I feel like he's not going to do what he needs to do. So we'll see. We have Zaid in the chat. What is up, Brady? What is up, Zaid? How you doing? I like Tafon, and I like Chris. I know that you're on Vieira. Sway me. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight next. But I feel like nobody should be confident in either side of that Curtis Vieira fight. But that's not the case. And we'll get to that fight now. We have Chris Curtis, Rodolfo Vieira. This is the people's main event. We have half of the people extremely confident in Chris Curtis. We have half of the people extremely confident in Rodolfo Vieira. And nobody should be confident in either side here. This fight should end inside the distance. It's minus 750 to not go the distance. On FanDuel, it's minus 900. And it's simple as this. I mean, Rodolfo Vieira, if he gets the fight down to the mat, he probably gets a submission. And if he doesn't get the fight down to the mat, or if he gets the fight down to the mat and Curtis survives, Curtis is going to knock him out. That's how this fight's going to play out. I was initially leaning Curtis. I mean, a couple of people asked me like weeks prior, like, who do you like in this fight? Oh, I like Chris Curtis. And then I ran the tape. I'm like, oh my goodness, like Chris Curtis makes so many mistakes on the mat. It's scary. Like, he's giving up his back a ton. He's putting himself in very bad positions that, guys aren't able to take advantage of. He's giving up his neck to stand up. He's giving up his back to stand up. He's getting taken down with ease. Like, If Rodolfo Vieira gets him down, like I think Rodolfo Vieira subs this guy. Of course, we saw against Brendan Allen, who Brendan Allen was minus 400. Phil Hawes is like minus 350. They were big favorites, and why they were big favorites were a lot of people, or at least me, I thought Brendan Allen, who's a black belt, would take down Chris Curtis, who struggled on the mat before. I thought Phil Hawes, who's a state champion wrestler, would mix in the takedowns against Chris Curtis. What did they both do? They both stood there and struck with him and got knocked out. You'd think that Rodolfo Vieira tries to get this fight down to the mat, and if he does, I think he's very, very live for submission. So, but again, I mean, nobody should be confident in this fight. No, absolutely nobody should be confident in this fight. It could really go either way. But there's nothing bettable in this fight. Like if you like Chris Curtis at this point, you just bet him straight. He's minus 115. Money's poured in on Rodolfo Vieira all week. The line is closed up a ton, which is weird because there's so much hype on Chris Curtis. But yeah, the line's closing, and almost a pick him here at this point. Chris Curtis by finish is minus 110. Chris Curtis by knockout is minus 120. So you're actually at this point paying more for the knockout than him inside the distance or just straight. So if you like Chris Curtis, you bet him straight. If you like Vieira, at least there is some value on these Vieira props, like Vieira inside the distance plus 150. Vieira to win in either round 1 or round 2 is plus 180. Vieira by first round submission is plus 340 on FanDuel. So there are some props to look at for Vieira, but yeah, if you like Curtis, you just bet him straight. I do have a bet on this fight. I have a half a unit on Rodolfo Vieira to win inside the distance at plus 170. I was going to take a look at that round 1 or round 2 prop, but it was only plus 180, so might as well get that third round as well. I think Rodolfo Vieira is going to have a very good chance to take the fight down to the mat early and submit this guy. I hated what I saw from Chris Curtis when he gets taken down. Like way too many mistakes against a guy like Rodolfo Vieira. But could Vieira get knocked out? Absolutely. Especially comes in there with a crap game plan. So we'll see what happens. DraftKings, I'm nearly 100% owned on this fight. Vieira 7,600, I like a lot as a dog. And then I have a good amount of Chris Curtis as well. I think somebody gets finished here, and somebody gets finished probably before the third round as well. Vieira's cardio looked much better against Stoltzfus. Yeah, he kind of paced himself a little bit in that fight, which, to be honest, I don't want him to pace himself here against Chris Curtis. If he does that, he probably gets knocked out. That's kind of what Hawes and Allen did. If you're Vieira, you probably are looking for that first round sub. Curtis was getting ragdolled all around by Hawes till he got clipped. Yep, that is true. Chris has been against a lot of gats in this game, and he has never been submitted. Yeah, he's been submitted once, but it's been a long time ago. He hardly has but this is going to be the best BJJ guy he's fought by a mile. I mean, Vieira is no joke. I'm staying away from Vieira versus Curtis. I'm just going to sit back and watch a minus 900 fight isn't decision play out. Yeah, that's probably the best option. I think passing and watching is the best option of this fight, but everybody has a bet on this fight. Everybody very confident. Nobody should be confident in this fight. Vieira by sub opened up at plus 200, so I bet him. It's not just his BJJ, but his wrestling. Look, yeah, I've seen people crap on Vieira's wrestling, and this guy's wrestling is like very good. He's physically strong. He has good trips, good double leg. Like this guy can get the fight down to the mat. I mean, he's averaging over 5 takedowns per 50 minutes, so he absolutely has a way to get it there. I feel like Vieira versus Curtis is a must on DK if it goes past the first. Curtis wins, but man, the first is going to be a barn burner. Absolutely. I think if Vieira wins, it's the first. If Curtis wins, it's probably second or third. I think Vieira subs him. This fight is at 185. I just see Vieira being so much stronger. Yeah, especially if you saw the weigh-ins, like this guy hits the gym for sure. I will probably sprinkle Curtis round 2 to hedge out. Yep, I think that's the way to play it. Like Curtis round 2, Curtis round 3, I think are all in play. But yeah, should be a fun fight. DraftKings betting, nothing really sticks out, but I do have a half unit on Vieira to win inside the distance. Next, we have Umar Nurmagomedov going against Nate Maness, and Nurmagomedov minus 1,200, Nate Maness plus 650. And I do have a play on this fight. I have 1 unit on the under 2.5 rounds, minus 120. I still see a minus 130 out there, which is weird because we have the under 2.5 at minus 120, right? And then you have Nurmagomedov inside the distance at minus 175. Like you're paying so much more for Umar inside the distance where you can get that under at a much better price. And that also covers a Nate Maness knockout, which wouldn't completely shock me. Nate Maness hits like a truck. And then Umar, if Umar wins, I think it's a sub, and I think it's probably early. I think 1 takedown is all it takes here. Umar's grappling is the best part of his game. His grappling is phenomenal. His back takes are phenomenal. I think he may struggle to get Maness down a little bit. Maness has shown good takedown defense. Maness has a size advantage as well. But I just think one takedown is all it takes. I think Umar subs him. Umar subs him in the very first round. And but the under 2.5 at -120, -130, I think is the better way to play it because it kind of covers both sides there. So Umar, like these Umar props just aren't playable. Umar to win inside the distance, -175. Umar by sub, +100. Just not much you can do there. I like the under 2.5 a little bit better. I guess on FanDuel, they have Umar by sub at +140. I think that's a little bit better, but I think the under 2.5 is probably the way to go. For DraftKings, I like Umar quite a bit, 9,500. I think he finishes very early on here. And Maness, I mean, he's not the worst dart throw in the world, not the worst pump play in the world. This guy, I don't know. I keep counting him out. I think I'm like 0-3 in terms of picking Maness, and this guy's losing up until he's not. So he kind of always figures a way to pull it out of his ass. Maybe he does here. I'd be kind of shocked if he did here, but hard to count out a guy completely in Nate Maness. So I do have a little bit of Nate Maness just in case he does pull one out of his ass for the fourth time in a row. He just keeps on getting it done no matter what. But yeah, should be a very good fight. Oh my God, you're getting some you're getting some good line. Under 2.5, -106. There you go. That is how you do it. That line is phenomenal. I wonder if money is coming in on the over. Let me take a look here. So it's like that fight doesn't go. Yeah, money's still coming in on fight goes and the overs here, which is interesting because I certainly lean towards this fight finishing. But yeah, -125 for the under 2.5 on 5 dimes. Have not checked where it's at on Bovada, nothing like that. But I think that's a really good look for this fight rather than laying -170 on Umar. All right, a couple more fights to get through. We have the Thiago Moises, Christos, Giagos fight. Going to keep this one short. I want nothing to do with it. Can't trust either guy. Thiago Moises is just so inconsistent. Some fights he looks really good. Some fights he looks really bad. If anything, it's Moises by sub, but even that's not the best price in the world. Only +240. Giagos has been submitted 4 times. I think that's where I would look, but I don't want any money on this fight. It's a pass for me. The pick's Moises to win. Moises to win by sub. Not playing him on DraftKings. If anything, it's Giagos, but yeah, there's so many better fights like on the prelims. Like I don't know why this is on the main card. Like I get Moises was in a main event against Makhachev, but I'm just not interested in this fight. Like I'd rather see even like the TJ Brown Shayilan fight on the main card, JB Bays, Cody Durden. I think those fights are gonna be more exciting. Don't really see this one playing out too exciting, but yeah, give me Moises to win, but little to no confidence in that one. I just checked Umar by sub is +144 on FanDuel. If anyone's interested, earlier it was +105. Yeah, I think that is solid. I think if he does win, I think it is by sub. This fight is a stay away from me. Yes, same here. Including the next one, we have the 1-800-GAMBLER fight of the week. We have Alain Baudot going against Josh Perisian. And yeah, I said a couple months ago, I think it was when Baudot fought Parker Porter, I labeled Baudot as the worst heavyweight fighter in the UFC. But after watching tape on Josh Perisian, I actually think it might be Josh Perisian who's the worst heavyweight fighter in the UFC. And Hunsucker was up in the running as well, but Hunsucker actually moved down to 205. So it's between these two. So whoever loses this fight is going to be the worst heavyweight in the UFC. It's a pick 'em for a reason. The line's not moved all week for a reason. Nobody should be confident in this fight as well. I guess the one look, if I was forced to bet this fight, which I'm not, it would be the fight doesn't go to decision, -155. A lot of people are expecting this to go to decision, including me, but both guys are really great finishers. Baudot, a 100% finish rate, Parisian 85%, and both guys get finished a ton. Baudot finished in 2 of his 3 losses, and if you count his disqualification win, which was in reality a loss in the 3rd round by submission, he's actually been finished in 3 of his 4 losses, and Parisian's been finished in 3 of 5. And on top of that, I just feel like they're going to stand and bang until one man falls, more than likely. I don't see any takedown attempts, any clinching. I think they're just going to throw down. So, I mean, would anybody be really shocked if this heavyweight fight finished inside the distance? Not really me, but do I want to lay any chalk on this fight? Not really. So, yeah, I don't know, the pick's Baudot, I guess, but the bet would be fight doesn't go, if anything, but I'm not betting this fight. On DraftKings, I think, sadly, this fight might be somewhat important. I think it's kind of a dart throw as a whole. Nobody's going to be playing this fight. And again, would anybody really be shocked if a heavyweight fight finished inside the distance? I wouldn't. So I kind of sprinkled both guys. I think I have around like 18% of both, 19% of both. I don't think anybody's going to be playing this fight, which it could be for a good reason, but it could also be a mistake as well. But you're going to be passing on this one. taking this fight goes to a fat, sweaty decision. Yeah, I think everybody thinks that as well. I think that as well, but I don't know. I think this fight could finish. I really think it could. I like the fight doesn't go to decision stats add up here, but I need that 6 9.5ers down in order to bet this fight. Yeah, I can't touch this fight personally. Move on to the next fight. We have the co-main event, Shavkat Rakhmonov going against Neil Magny. We have Rakhmonov minus 450. Neil Magny is plus 350 here. And yeah, I like Rakhmonov here. I think it's a really tough matchup for Neil Magny. Magny is going to be in danger anywhere the fight goes, whether it's on the feet, on the mat. Shavkat is dangerous everywhere. Power in his hands, power in his legs. Great submission game. About half his wins are by knockout. About half his wins are by submission. I think he finishes Magny here. How I played this was, yeah, this line doesn't make much sense to me. So Shavkat Rakhmonov is a minus 450 favorite, and his inside the distance line is only minus 135 on DraftKings. Like, that makes no sense. Like, he has a 100% finish rate. Magny's been finished a ton, 6 of 8 losses, 5 in the UFC. He's been knocked down like 9 or 10 times in the UFC. Like, if Shavkat wins this fight, he's going to finish him. If this goes to decision, I'll tell you right now, he's not going to look minus 450. So why is Shavkat inside the distance only minus 135? Doesn't make much sense to me. And it was actually minus 120 at one point. I was able to get in on this at minus 130, and I have 1 unit on it. I really like Shavkat this week. I think he finishes Neil Magny and probably does it early as well. So, yeah, I like Shavkat inside the distance, minus 130, 1 unit, and there's still like minus 135 out there. I think that's a great look. And if you got in early, it was like minus 120, which is just nuts to me. But yeah, give me Shavkat here on DraftKings from a betting perspective. Gonna have a ton of Shavkat. I think some serious finish upside. We have 4 guys on this card with a 100% finish rate: Shavkat, Baudot, Vieira, and Bays. But yeah, Shavkat is one of my favorite plays of the week here from a DraftKings perspective for sure. I think Shavkat goes out there, finishes them. I think the hype grows. I think it continues, and I think he gets a step up here after Magny. Shavkat inside the distance fight doesn't go under 2.5. I think all 3 are very, very live. If you like Neil Magny by decision plus 500 would be the only way to go. Baudot by UD plus 500. I mean, you'll be sweating, but I mean, it's plus 500. We got Mushroom in the chat. What is up, Mushroom? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Brandon saying Rock by sub plus 420 is my play here. I just want to get why the line is so Magny worse. Magny has been sub more times and he's been knocked out. Yeah, I think the sub's live. The sub is plus 420, you said. The knockout is only like plus 150. So yeah, I think either could happen. I think it's about 50-50 as you can get. I think I officially went with sub, but yeah, either could happen. I have a bet build here. Rakhmonov by sub and landing over 9.5 significant strikes for plus 475. Yeah, I think that's good. I would be shocked if he didn't land over 9.5. Stupid Magny setting himself up for a big failure because he asked for this fight. Yeah, I mean, respect to him, but my goodness, not the brightest idea asking for that fight. Why? There you go. Yeah, I got what you were saying. Zayed with the super sticker. Thank you, Zayed, for supporting the MMA engine. Do appreciate that a ton. And thank you for hanging out as well on a Friday. We have one more fight to get through, guys. Kind of a shorter show. I do have to head out in about 7 minutes here. But we have Arman Tsarukyan and Mateusz Gamrot. Yeah, I think the majority of people, including me, think Tsarukyan gets this done. But I think the majority of people, including me, think this line is like nuts. Like, Gamrot is no bum at all. But it just goes to show like how much hype is on Tsarukyan and how good this guy really is. I think it's I think it could play out a lot more closer than the line does indicate. But what swayed me towards Tsarukyan is I think he's going to be the better wrestler here. I think he's going to be more likely to get on top and get control. I think the striking is going to be very close. I think even the grappling is going to be very close as well. But I think as the fight goes on, I kind of lean towards Tsarukyan having success. And I know it's weird saying that because we've never seen Tsarukyan in a 4th or 5th round. We have seen Gamrot in a 4th or 5th round, but I just don't know if Gamrot's going to be able to keep up with the pace that Tsarukyan's going to push in this fight. I do have a bet here, and it's my biggest bet of the night, which is a kind of a small bet, which just goes to show that I'm not too high on this card from a betting perspective. A lot of small plays here and there, but I have 1.5 units on the over 2.5 minus 170. I think there could be a finish in this fight. I think if there is a finish, it is going to be late. I think somebody might get tired here. Somebody might slow down with the pace that this fight's going to play out at. So I don't hate the late finish props for Tsarukyan 3-4-5. I don't hate the Tsarukyan 4-5 decision, and I don't hate that over 2.5. Got it minus 170. I think it is currently somewhere around there, like minus 180, minus 190 for that over. I don't think that is the worst look in the world. I'd be kind of surprised if either guy got an early finish. Like Tsarukyan has been knocked out early before, but Gamrot's not like a one punch, murderous punch power guy. He kind of adds up as the fight goes on. I know he like hurts Holtzman really bad, but typically the damage adds up, and he has a lot of cut stoppages, a lot of doctor stoppages, a lot of corner stoppages because the damage does add up. And Tsarukyan, he did show some power in his last fight against Joel Alvarez, obviously, but I think Gamrot is a much higher level than Joel Alvarez. Gamrot, he's a black belt in BJJ, legit on the mat. I think Gamrot can definitely hold his own. So I think this goes over, but I think Tsarukyan does take over, especially down the stretch. So Tsarukyan maybe late, maybe by decision, but just give me the over 2.5. I think the fight doesn't go as interesting. I was kind of waiting to see where that goes. But yeah, I could see a late finish here. But yeah, Tsarukyan's the pick, and I have a ton of Tsarukyan on DraftKings. I think Tsarukyan has takedown upside, control time upside, lots of strikes. I think his fight's high paced. I think it's extended. I think it scores very well. And don't mind some Gamrot as well. Gamrot's no bum. It's weird seeing him priced at plus 250. It's weird seeing him priced at 7,100. He's a very, very good fighter. He is 20-1, arguably could be 21-0. He's very, very good. But Tsarukyan's no joke as well. This Rakhmonov hype looks a lot like the Chikadze. Don't you put them in the same sentence there. Don't you ever do that. Being rewarded for beating guys in very favorable matchups. Yeah, I disagree with that. I was never on the Chikadze hype ever. But maybe somebody else will agree with you. But I think the Shavkat hype is real. And typically I can like see it from a mile away. Like Chikadze, I was looking to fade that guy forever. And then of course the one time where I picked Chikadze against Cater, the guy gets destroyed. But no, Chikadze, no. Shavkat, yes, this guy's real. I'm a fan of Gamrot, and I'm high on his abilities, 100%. I'm high on both of their abilities, but I like Gamrot 100%. You like Gamrot, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'm not laying minus 300 on Tsarukyan. I'll tell you that. Another bet build here, Tsarukyan to win, plus having more takedowns, plus the fight starts round 2, plus 350. Really? That's plus 350. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Depends what book. I know DraftKings is doing those. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Plus 350 there. Waiting for the fight goes or fight doesn't go to go to minus 105. Yeah, I saw it get hit plus money on a book. Oh, you'll see, Paul. You'll definitely see Saturday when Magny gets finished in the very first round. Don't worry. He should be 21-0. Got outstruck. Old boy, damn near 2-1, and he took him down 5 times. Yeah, I thought he won the fight. Old boy dropped Gamrot once and gave him the round. That popped me. Yeah, I did score for Gamrot personally, but it was a close fight. Best luck to you as well, Zayed. But yeah, I'll quickly go through my bets. Again, not a ton of like big plays this week. Usually there's like something that really sticks out. Like I really like this. I'm going heavy on this. A lot of small plays, a lot of plus money. I think 9 bets, and I think all but 2 are plus money. All but 2 are plus money there. So Tafon Nchukwi, half a unit plus 100. Cody Durden, JP Bay's fight doesn't go plus 120. 1 unit total on that. Shayilan, TJ Brown fight doesn't go plus 150, half a unit. Brown inside the distance plus 250, half a unit. Demopoulos scorecards equals no action plus 190, half a unit. Shavkat inside the distance minus 130, 1 unit. Arman Tsarukyan, Mateusz Gamrot over 2.5, 1.5 units minus 170. And Vieira inside the distance half a unit plus 170. And the under 2.5 in the Nurmagomedov Nate Maness fight minus 120, 1 unit on that. Appreciate that mushroom saying, thanks, Brady. Great show as usual. Let's fucking go. One more sleep until violence and cashing tickets. I agree. Oh, I don't believe in Magny because he's just too chinny, but this Shavkat is a hype. I mean, he could be, but comparing him to Gig is just crazy, man. Like that's nuts. Call me crazy, but I'm locking Arman. That's not too crazy. Man went toe-to-toe with Islam and went 5 rounds. He went 3 rounds in that fight, but yeah, he went toe-to-toe with Islam. Islam is in line to fight for the title, and Arman is fighting a prospect. Yeah, and plus on top of that, Tsarukyan fought Islam at like 21 years old, something crazy like that. If Sal D'Amato judging, I don't know if I can bet. Yeah, I don't know if I can bet any decision lines with these judges lately. But guys, I'm going to head out for about 45 minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. My betting breakdown video on my channel, DFS by the Numbers, will be posted in about 15 minutes. And yeah, check that out. Check out Best Bet tomorrow on my channel, DFS by the numbers. Me, Uncle Weezy, Narco Cop, and Eric Bets fights 1 hour prior to the prelims. Best of luck, everybody. Let us make some money and enjoy the card. This is a good one. Outside of the freaking the Baudot fight, should be a fun card. Best of luck.